Today with us tonight is another lawyer, Julius Galisonga, to speak more about the law on that matter. Yes, you're welcome to NTV Weekend Edition.
Thank you.
To start with, as a motorist, have you ever been a victim of, registration plate blacking? And what do you make of this form of sanction?
Luckily, I've not been the victim of such. Maybe because I'm a good road user.
Well, at least not yet.
But most importantly, the placking of number plates is not a question of discretion of an individual traffic officer. It's regulated by the Traffic and Road Safety Act that you've already talked about, and it specifies which kind of vehicles can be deregistered. Those vehicles are three in type: one which is in dangerous mechanical condition, one which cannot be, which is overloaded. Overloaded, that is to say, a load over and above the specified load, yes, from the manufacturers. Then three, that whose use obstructs other road users. You've seen those very huge vehicles. You need special permission to use such a vehicle on the road. Now, those vehicles are the ones that can be deregistered, and even the process of deregistration involves for example, prosecuting the individual. If for example, a person who is using it, a person who is responsible for repair, you prosecute him, and upon satisfaction that he has committed that offense under section 107 of the Traffic and Road Safety Act, you can then the magistrate can then order the licensing officer to deregister that vehicle. And there is an element of voluntary action on the part of the owner or the person responsible for the vehicle to hand over the number plates to the inspector of vehicles.
So there's a due process to be followed. That's what you're saying. But Dr. Stephen Kasima says, they act in accordance with the Traffic and Road Safety Act of 1998. Are there loopholes in this law, and are traffic officers, enforcing it as per the book?
My thinking is Dr. Kasima is telling lies because his work as the one responsible for traffic in Uganda is regulated by the Traffic and Road Safety Act. Now, the process of deregistration is specified. So when you say we are doing it under the law, which law? For us, as lawyers, we are guided by specific parts of the law. Now, if you're saying you have the right to do something under the law, specify that thing. And now, this express penalty scheme was introduced by regulations, but those regulations are made under the Traffic and Road Safety Act, which now is the superior law to the other. You cannot use them, for example, to deregister when the Act specifies when you can deregister. You will sympathize with the police officers. The traffic officers, we have very indisciplined road users, but that does not help if police also goes on to break the law in the process of enforcing the law. The ideal situation would be to follow the due process. And remember, right now, registration of vehicles, I think all vehicles in Uganda are registered. I remember the other day when the Deputy Inspector General of Police went to Parliament and he had a number plate on his vehicle. A person searched and found that actually it belongs to another car. You get it? It now takes a question of 1 minute, internet, smartphone, to know who owns the vehicle. Yes? It's no longer a case of where you don't know how you're going to get a
all these things are online.
Yes, all these things are online. The idea would be for police to modernize its act and also to encourage Ugandans to know that obeying the law is a good thing.
Some of these motorists, a police officer will come and just pluck off your plate. You don't know what to do. You think it's right. Maybe you just follow them to police station. What are the legal remedies for an aggrieved motorist? And what happens, when they're plucking off my number plate and it breaks or it's bent or it's damaged? Who pays for that damage?
First of all, which police officer can deregister number? Like we've seen under section 107 of the Traffic and Road Safety Act, it is under when court orders, the licensing officer can do it. However, in the Police Act, a police officer at the rank of Inspector of Police can also deregister number. Now, I've seen traffic wardens also register numbers. A guy of Utoda, I don't know if they are still there, also plaquing. Now, the problem with breaking the law, remember the law protects officers if they are doing the right thing under the law.
Yes.
Now, if you take it out of your way to break the law, now you're acting outside the law and you're not protected. And personally, you can be taken on. And for example, if the vehicle is damaged, the cost of repair, then of course the distress. Yes, if they've taken off your number plate, maybe you've committed a crime, but the due process, you are suspected to have committed a crime, but that due process has not taken place, so you're still suspected. Now, the risk that is there, a person can sue such a police officer, and such a police officer can pay heavily, depending on the vehicle anyway.
Are there any other options that the police can use to enforce compliance, of the payment of the express penalty fee, apart from, placking plates off a car?
First of all, under the Police Act, they have powers to inspect vehicles, to stop and search. Now, using those powers, they can be able to keep custody of errant vehicles. Then the people comply, then they can go. Because it's not a hard process, really. If a person has, his vehicle has been stopped, I think it is easier to retain a vehicle, a person goes and pays, then come for it, than taking off the number plate. Because if you're taking off the number plate, both in front and behind, how about if that guy goes and knocks a person and maybe commits another traffic offense? How are you going to identify that person? Because number plates are for identification. Yeah. Now, if you take away the identity of your vehicle, what will happen? And you let it move on the road.
All right, many thanks, Julius. Sadly, that's all the time we had for this interview. Okay. But it is a continuing conversation, and we shall continue to engage the public to see, how to deal and how to, sort this kind of express penalty fee mess, as you call it. Yeah. I've been speaking to lawyer Julius Galisonga about, that express penalty fees that the police is working on. Let's move on with point blank, because former Buyende District Police Commander Mohammed Chirumira lost some cases before the police disciplinary court, which convicted him. Now, the court demoted him by 2 ranks from Assistant Superintendent of Police to Assistant Inspector of Police, and also sentenced him to a caution. However, Chirumira says he will appeal the sentence, and when the case is disposed of, he will quit the police. All this played out as journalists were blocked from accessing the police court, and Chirumira fought for them. Here's Agnes Nandutu with Point Blank.
Is brought to you by